Hey, it's Jack from Alphacharts with a midweek video for subscribers. Today is December 26th, 2024. Before we get started, this video is for informational purposes only. These are not recommendations to buy, sell, or hold any stock or security. And I may hold positions in some of the equities mentioned. Know your time frame and risk tolerance. All right, this video is just for subscribers. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Let's get into it. Format will be we'll go over market overview, we'll hit the internals, go over our watch list for some idea generation, and then a small conclusion at the end. All right, so let's start with the market overview. You see that we have this widening pattern happening in the SPY. And so what does this mean to me? To me, this means that there is increased volatility coming into the market. And, what should we expect to happen? We should expect that this is going to follow the trend and this should be volatility, but to the upside. So our expectation breaker would be if this obviously breaks down at that point. But that shouldn't be the base case, right? That would be the null case, and so that would change actually how we look at the markets in general. But for now, I think that this volatility, the expectation is we should be making new highs above this, 608, 609 area. Looking at RSP, and we don't know, it's underperforming. There's no doubt. This is underneath the 50-day moving average. You see SPY is well above the 50-day. It just shows you the divergence between the equal weighted and the broader market and the cap weighted SPY. Will this toppy pattern play out in the RSP? I don't know. I drew this in here. We have no idea if this is going to hit or not, but there's definitely something that we should be at least cognizant of, that this is out there and we may get a rally over the next few weeks or even potential couple months. And if this is a larger top, that's something that we want to be aware of. Right now, no indication that's what it is, but we do see an underperformance in the equal weighted RSP. The Qs. The Qs are much like the SPY, again, looking really, really good. And then the equal weighted Qs are more like the RSP, obviously. And we have a flat to declining 50-day moving average with price underneath it. I think this $90, which I've had on here for a long, long time, $89 to $90, is a really big spot for the equal weighted Qs. And now the 200-day moving average is right there as well. And we're kind of trapped in between there. I'd really like to see this get above this, $93, 93 and a quarter area. And I think that would be really good. Any breakdown below 89, and it's a very bearish move in the equal weighted. We're going to skip the mid caps and just go straight to IWM because they look almost exactly the same. And you see, again, stuck below the 50-day, right between the 50 and the 200-day. Again, not a great look. We're also noticing if you lower volume. Let's just go right across. You see the lower volume is holiday shortened week. And we're going to see lower volume as traders are taking time off. You see the mid caps look exactly like the small caps. We're in the middle of the Santa Claus rally right now, and it's played out nicely in general across all the markets, really, for now. And it continues to the second trading day of January. That's where this ends. XLF recovered above the 50. That's nice to see. Still underneath the VWAP from the Trump win, or whatever you want to call that. So I'd like to see it get above this 49.66 level for the all clear. Right now, it's right below it. It's not terrible, but it's improving. But it's not in that all clear area for me. SMH, long consolidation, right? Prior trend is higher, so we would expect this to break out above 255-ish. You see, look at all these moving averages just clumped up. Now you have the 50 and the 200-day literally, 3% away from each other or less, actually. What is that? 3%, right at 3%. So we're at 3% away from each other, but price is back above the 50, which is positive. But again, the price level of 255 is really where I'd want to see this get to for the cap weighted semiconductors to really start to take off. And again, NVIDIA being the big boy in that. But the mid level semiconductors are looking much, much better. And I think that if we're looking for things to buy, this is the place to look for. And you'll see when we go over our watch list, there's quite a few mid-cap semiconductor names that are on that list that are doing well and are looking to do, hopefully, continue to do well, right? So mid-cap semiconductors are looking really good. Transports, the transports are underneath a declining 50, but above the 200-day. Again, that's good. And really, we have dichotomy here in that we have the vacation transports, we're talking about cruise lines and airplanes, um, doing really, really well. But we have things that move goods like trains and trucks that really aren't doing all that good. And I think it shows it well here in that, we have a fight here at the 200-day. And we'll see. Again, still very bearish look, in my opinion, on the transports. Equal weight transports look a little bit better, right, than cap weighted, but still underneath the 50-day moving average at this point right now. Housing as well looks very rough. We don't know if it'll dig in here or not, or come all the way down to this 97-ish area. Um, that could be one more leg down. And maybe, listen, expectation is this would bounce. If it doesn't, this could be a very major top forming in housing. Um, and then XHB, very, very similar. Might come down to this $100 area here, but not looking great. So overall, I think the markets are looking good in general, but there are some, clouds. I want to see these equal weights really start to do better, get it back above the 50-day, right? Like the SPY is already. That's what I'm really looking for. Let's look at some of the internals and see if what they're saying. Are they improving or are they deteriorating, right? By the way, I'm in a cautious stance in the market right now. I think with price above all the pertinent moving averages, only price pays, and so we have to, default to that really. Looking here, we still have a power trend, and we're in a stage two uptrend. We're also starting to see new highs come back versus when we had the new lows kind of outpacing things in here. Right now, the new highs are starting to come back in. Again, still minimal, but it's a start. And so that's really good. As well as stocks above the 50-day moving average, which is this indicator down here. Again, starting to come back from a very severely oversold area. And this cycle count work down here is showing back into a bullish cycle. Yeah, so things are starting to look good there. We're going into our other dashboard, and we see momentum almost back to, but not quite to the positive territory for positive momentum. And then we have our FOMO indicator. So what this is telling us is, and it's been a pretty good overall. Again, hasn't quite gotten to 85. It's at 82.36, so really, really close. Um, but maybe it's close enough. We'll see, right? I put this 85 in there. It got basically there to it right there and come back down. So what does this tell us? This tells us that maybe it may not be the best spot to enter new names tomorrow, right? We may get some sort of pullback into this lower area, and maybe that could show us better entries. That's all that means. It's a very short-term indicator, um, and, and uh, and so yeah, so it's been pretty accurate though. I started to point out areas of turns, and really they've been really good spots to just give it a pause and wait for a better entry. Nothing is perfect. And you see the bottom area has been unbelievable for entrance. Once it gets to the bottom area, top area, things can stay overdone for a while, as you see like in here. But eventually it makes it down and to a great entry spot. So anyway, so just so we can see, this one is just about at the 85 level. Maybe this goes higher, maybe it doesn't. We don't know. No indicator is perfect. But again, this may be saying, don't rush out and plow into things because we're on the top side and maybe things need to consolidate or come back just a bit for things to reset. All right, looking at the VIX though, the VIX has been very, very nice and has come all the way back in below 15, which is nice to see. We had that spike that was a little concerning, but then it came right back. So that concern was taken off the table, I think. Credit spreads really never confirmed any of that spike in the VIX. Nice and tight overall. Again, we had just a little move up, but nothing that is concerning to me. Percent of stocks above the 50-day. This is NYSE. Again, kind of a breath washout, but now it's just starting to come back in. Never got to an extreme level though. So there wasn't much of a signal there because things have to get extreme for a real signal to happen. And then the put call ratio. Again, things are back in a bullish range, but not extreme in any way, shape, or form. So I'm not too worried about this indicator right now because we're looking for extremes. Not quite here. So what is there things to be concerned about? I think DXY. I think the dollar. If this is, let's go to the weekly chart. Maybe this will show nice on the weekly chart. Yeah. So you see how we had a big run up, and then here's 2022, right? 2022 was a very hard year to trade stocks. And you see what the dollar did. It literally went straight up. Started really 6 months prior, right? Started, roughly, some months prior, and then it really went higher there. If we get a move like this here, it's going to make it hard to trade stocks, in my opinion. I mean, we don't know how the market will react, but there's a good chance we'll see that. Um, so that and we may get to that 120-ish area, which is back, in the 2001 highs, really. So again, I'm not saying we're going to get there. Maybe we stop at 113. Maybe we do, maybe this fails and we come back in. But if this does move higher, we need to be aware and very careful if that's the case. The other thing is the 10-year yield. I'll say on the weekly chart to show this. Um, you know, Going back here, this area, this 5% or so area, 4.9 to 5%, has been resistance. And we kind of broke out of this little, weekly, you know, consolidation. And I think there's a good chance that the 10-year at least gets to 5. We'll see what happens once it gets there. But again, might make a harder trading environment if we go much higher than that 5%. And looking at 2022, what did it look like? In 2022, it was right in here, right? So coming up into here and then all the way into here. And then things got a little bit easier once the 10-year stopped going up. So again, a pretty big increase in the 10-year um, from right around here all the way to here, right? That was roughly 1.8 to 4.2. Big move. If we see something like that happen here and we get above that 5%, that would be a gigantic move. And I think it would be much harder. So those are the negatives to watch out for. We're not quite there yet. I'm gonna go back to the daily. We're not quite there yet, but if we see that starting to happen, shortening time frames, taking profits a little bit faster, watching that rotation a little bit faster, I think would be in our best interest. Again, some ideas I'm thinking about 2025 and some similarities to 2022, which may or may not happen. But it's good to understand all the different possibilities. Again, at least possibilities we can see. Let's get into the next part, which is the extended watch list. All right, so names that I think are holding up really, really well. Some of you all may be in some of these names from prior entries, like this one by App 11. It's still consolidating and looking really, really good. Again, this is idea generation, so just because I may or may not take a name doesn't mean that you have to or don't have to. Again, we've been in this Palantir trade for a while. Rocket Lab is doing really good. Nice breakout from that little consolidation. Tesla retook that VWAP from the highs. I think that's a really nice spot. SoFi moving well. Ionic, again, moving really, really well. This mirror, I mean, a very viable area right there. Again, volume is really low though. So, but again, we trade price. Twilio doing good off of this breakout. What else we got here? Robinhood, again, trade that y'all could still be in. I mean, it's only, from 2 weeks ago. Doing really, really well. At least, doing well, actually, right there. Um, Kind of choppy, actually. What else? Dutch Brothers breaking out. Reddit, again, overall looking good. Might need a little rest. A Lab, same thing, just might need a little rest. We talked about getting involved, back in, from November and December, and hopefully some of you all are still in that one. Snow never triggered for us. We wanted to trigger, just never did. Mere Sports, again, Soundhound looking great. Rubric starting to retake that VWAP. I like the way this looks right here, right? So that's not a bad little um, move here. And again, we could, we can take on risk relatively good in this area, right? DXYZ, if you're still in this one, it's doing everything right at this point. Apple, big move higher if you're still in that one. That was one of our trades that we there it is right there from 12.1 on the breakout over here. It's not gonna we know it's not gonna be our fastest moving name, but it's doing really, really well. Love to see that from this broadening pattern right here. It moved higher. That's nice to see. CRDO, Credo. Again, retook the VWAP. That's good. Marvel, I'm in this one as well. Um, nice to see this one move higher. DocuSign waiting for the retake of that VWAP right there. NVCR, nice little move today. Again, moving higher. CFLT. This one, let's go to the weekly on this one. Still waiting for this to truly break out. So it's got to be on my watch list, but just not quite ready yet. I mean, somebody wants an early entry. I could make the argument for that, but again, I think it needs more time. Real. We've talked about this one. I never got involved in this one, but what a move. Very, very nice. Rigetti Computing looks great. Broadcom, another one we've been talking about, looks fantastic. CN, this is one and that looks really good. Just retook the VWAP and trying to move higher. I like the way that looks. ACHR, strong move. Again, this is our watch list that we've had for a while now. So hopefully many of you are in some of these names. Qubits, looking great, or D-Wave Quantum is what it's called. Semtech, look at this consolidation right here. Very, very nice. Um, you know, very, very nice. I like this one quite a bit. Clavio on my weekly hold list. Still holding it. Looks great. Qubit, very strong looking name. Nice little flag. Teva, very nice. Amazon, trying to break higher from this general area right there. You know, right there. Just trying to move higher. Above all, it's moving averages. Again, a lot like Apple, and probably in some ways won't be your fastest mover, but it'll be a nice steady Eddie type of name. Google, I own some of this. Looks like it wants higher as well. Doximity, nice little base. I love how it retook the VWAP right here, made a higher low right there compared to here. Very, very nice. AAOI, again, this is just idea generation, trying to keep everybody in the right universe of stocks. That's the important part, I think, because if we're in the right universe of stocks, our chance of making money goes much higher. Uh, AAOI, I mean, nice move today. That grab, there you go. Um, Trying needs to retake these VWAPs, I think. Asana, again, I want to see it retake that VWAP. Um, I nod Innodata, again, nice move as it moves higher. Lunar, stellar, right? Stellar move. Intuitive Machines. Up. Oh, okay. This is an interesting one. This is Tiger, and I like the way this looks. If it can retake this area, that's what I could be involved in. Um, this is Bloom Energy. Again, you can see this little consolidation, not even that little. Let's get this tool, something like this. And as it comes and breaks this general trend line right there, I think Bloom Energy looks pretty good. And last one on the list is Roblox. Again, nice little consolidation right there. So there's 45 names, ran through them pretty quickly and on purpose because you got to make the trade your own, obviously. But this is the idea generation, the setups to look for, in my opinion, in some of the best names in the market. All right, so just we have, I think, another good action in the market with still, again, I want to see a little bit more from some of these like equal weighted type of names, but overall everything's looking pretty good. Looking at this, our short-term SPY, maybe things are a little bit extended on the the shortest of terms. So wouldn't mind seeing a higher low here, right? Some sort of higher low here, and maybe retest the 50 one more time and hold the 50, and then move higher. That would be kind of something nice. But overall, I think we should be looking for things to buy if we trade at all. Remember, this is low volume movements, so if you got better things to do, the market will always be here for us, right? Don't think you have to trade every day or trade every tick. It's just not doesn't fit, lifestyles. It's holiday time. If your family, friends, make sure we spend some time with them as well. And even, taking a couple of days off from the market, nothing wrong with that, right? Refresh your brain, refresh the way you're looking at names, and then ready to get going for the new year. All right. Thank you all for being subscribers. Again, I appreciate all of you. Have a great day.